Live from the Valley, it's your host, former Miss USA, Nia Sanchez.
Hey, baby. Okay, welcome to the Hold My Crown podcast, where we dive into life, pageants, reality TV, parenting, and so much more. Join us for special guests from your favorite reality shows and some of my very good friends, other beauty queens. This is Hold My Crown.
Hold my crown.
Hello. Welcome back to the Hold My Crown podcast. We have missed you guys.
What is up?
Missed you.
What is going on?
Whomever is listening, we have missed you. It has been 2 weeks without an episode.
Why?
Life is wild, but that's not an excuse. And we are getting on top of all of our episodes and trying to be way more regular and consistent because that's what y'all signed up for. And that's what we signed up for. An episode every single Wednesday, except for today's episode is coming out on Thursday. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Aside from this week, we're going to keep it moving forward Wednesdays every single week. And today, what are we talking about, Boo?
What are we talking about? We are talking about the finale of The Valley.
Today's episode is
I did that?
The Valley finale.
The Valley finale.
And we
Fee-fi-fo Fanny. Yep.
We can also talk a little bit about Big Bear because I feel like we've done a light recap of multiple episodes.
Happened? We went to Big Bear?
I mean, were you there?
I don't think I was there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lord have mercy.
We'll have to talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
Okay, but that's what we're talking about. Mostly about the finale of The Valley, and then we'll also talk about Big Bear because that was something we haven't touched on yet.
Big Bear could be its own 5-part series of
Yes,
podcast.
it totally could, but I have a way to condense it for us.
All right.
But since you are the co-host, before we started recording, Daniel's like, I'm the co-host. I should be asking you questions. So let's have you get us kind of started. What should we be talking about? What questions do you have?
What?
You don't like me to put you on the spot?
No, of course. What did you think of the finale?
Oh, okay, so we're not going to start with Big Bear. We're going straight to the finale.
Oh, my gosh. I thought I was taking control.
Daniel's taking control. All right, so the finale, I'm going to say, because it's kind of like two chunks, right? The first piece,
right,
which is like what we filmed in real time. And then the second piece, which is when we picked cameras back up. And that was wild because it was crazy. So we'll get into that too. But everything else. So we had this beautiful dinner at Castaway.
We did.
Which is a very special spot to both Daniel and I.
Yes.
And it was kind of crazy that I think, this is just normal, but you saw 10 seconds, 20 seconds maybe of our entire 2-hour dinner
3 hours
that we filmed.
Yeah.
And there was so much that we talked about. Daniel gave me an incredible push present, which I was excited for that to be.
Oh my gosh. I was so bummed that didn't make it to air.
Can we make that our Booko button? And then we'll get into the rest of it. So
our Booko button is Bravo editing.
No. The push present subject. So if anybody listening,
gosh, here we go.
There is such thing as a push present. And I feel like a lot of people have not heard of it. And a lot of people now know of it.
You know why? Because, every 5 years you come up with something else to get a present
baby
for.
Baby moon, push present.
Exactly.
You better be getting me something special for a 10-year anniversary.
My mom's like, what's a baby moon? What's a push present?
Your mom is also 70. Your dad is 70.
It's an engagement ring. What are diamonds?
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't around, when they got married. How many years ago? 50?
50
years ago.
Coming up on 50.
So
this year.
A push present is something very special, usually expensive, not always, but usually expensive, that a husband gives to his wife for pushing out a baby. And I pushed out 2 babies.
Or babies.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so after Asher was born, I did not get a specific push present, which is okay. It is what it is.
Your push present for Asher
was a house. Are you going to say that?
Was a house.
Oh, my God.
And also 2 more babies.
You are wild. Okay, so Daniel didn't give me a push present, and I was all kinds of.
It wasn't that I just didn't get you a push present. I had every intention of doing it, but life, it wasn't. All right, I can't.
No excuses. He didn't give me a push present.
All right, so listen. So
hold on. Can I finish?
Okay.
I sure did go online and find myself some beautiful jewelry and buy myself something. I also sent Daniel multiple.
You didn't buy yourself a push present.
It wasn't that great though, because I was trying to save money. I should have just like gone all out and spent the money, but I didn't. So
what push present did you buy?
I bought like a beautiful necklace that had like Asher's name in it. But I was trying to save money and it wasn't super lovely. So boo, fail on my end. But
I did get you some necklaces. With the Asher and the circle.
Maybe that was Christmas.
That was a push present.
No.
It was like a Christmas / push present on Christmas.
That cost like $50.
Let's get to the main.
Okay. The main thing. When we were filming, we filmed the entire scene at Castaway. All that you guys hear was us talking about moving to Santa Clarita, which is a lot. I have a lot of questions from you guys on the question part of today that we'll be answering, talking about everything, including moving. But that's all you heard. And Daniel gave me this beautiful push present.
Well, let me rewind because
rewind.
I with these types of shows, you want to come up with things to film and organically. And I had said, hey, this would actually be a great thing because I always want to surprise Nia with the gifts. She loves surprises, and it's very hard to do that. And I was like, well, this would be awesome. It could be like documented, you know what I mean? They're going to record it and all this type of stuff.
Special memory to have on camera.
Yeah, so I hit up my my boy Peter, Young at Into Gems and Diamonds downtown LA, and I said, hey, I want to get a push present for Nia. The show's so excited about it too. They're going to film it, the whole thing. So went in, and you did help me. But she always just sends me, Instagram videos of like, wink, wink, hint, hint, Mother's Day, hint, hint.
All the time.
Present,
I'm like,
hint, hint.
I don't know if he's going to do it on his own, so let me send him exactly what I want.
It helps.
It does, because then I get what I want.
Exactly.
Ladies, it's not a mystery. Just tell your man what you want. He can't mess it up if you tell him what you want.
Yeah, because, sometimes life and babies just gets ahead of you, and then all of a sudden you're a day before and you're on Amazon Prime being like, let me get...
Those are the worst.
10 things, and hopefully she likes one or two.
Walmart?
What? No,
yes,
I never got
my
Walmart.
My first Christmas from Daniel with him,
not Walmart.
I got like 12 presents from Walmart. I wanted one quality present.
We were in small town Michigan, by the way.
And you didn't think ahead of time.
And we have one store. And all we had was a Walmart.
And so I got like 12 scarves from Walmart. You're in Michigan. It's snowy. Merry Christmas. Like, what? I love you. Merry Christmas.
I gave you more than that, guaranteed. Anyway.
Maybe a $12 bracelet.
So, oh my goodness. Lies. So you gave me a thing of like you wanted rings that you could, what do you call it?
Stackable
dainty rings in gold that could have the birthstone of our beautiful children.
Yes.
So Asher's birthstone, this was great because it was so fun to film this because I didn't know, I did the research, and then when I went in and talked to Peter, we came to collaborated on it. But citrine is like an orange kind of birthstone, and it's pretty cheap. It's like not that expensive. But then what's the other one I should have done? Amber, freaking crap. Amarzite, some other one that's like purple and green. It changes colors, and it's for June. Those ain't cheap. Those are very expensive. So shout out to Into Gems and Peter for collaborating with me on this. And at that Castaway dinner, I gave her the push present.
Yes, you did. We'll have to post on Instagram a beautiful picture of him because it's hard to tell. And for some reason, I scratched myself, so I don't want to be showing my whole hand. But we can't do stories this long about all of our memories and moments from filming. So Castaway was beautiful.
Yes.
And you gave me a sweet present. And they were taught, it was one of those storylines that just didn't make it to air, which is fine. But like we talked about it a lot. Like, is Janet getting a push present? Did Brittany get one?
True.
We talked we, and that's just in our regular life. Before we ever picked up cameras, it's like, ooh, Brittany, I love your push present. So
shoot so much stuff.
And you never know what's going to make it. Moving on. Okay. So let's finish talking about the finale. There was a big fight. How did you feel about the fight when you watched it? Because we were not involved in it in person. We were involved in our own conflicts, which must have been more boring because it was not the focus of the night. So what was your thoughts on the Zach and Janet conflict?
Oh, yes.
Woo.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild, Zach went in wanting some answers, and Janet, it was just, it was a rehashing of what had already happened, but he wanted an explanation, and she was like, hey, this is how it went down, and it just got more heated, and Jasmine came over, and then
Jasmine was crying.
Jax came over, and then it was
I remember
crazy.
being semi a part of it when like Jasmine was venting to Kristen, and I'm just sitting at the table like, whoa, this is a lot. But I don't know.
I wasn't there.
I mean, we have been asked back for season 2, if you don't know. So yay, that's good. But also, I mean, we have our own life drama, like living with 3 kids and trying to like get out the door and do things. And like life is crazy and wild for us, for sure. And I think just seeing the simplicity of how crazy our life is good TV, because it's wild in our house all day, every day.
Yeah.
And we have our own like personal like arguments and things that we figure out.
Right.
But we don't jump into the like nasty drama that can happen because it's just not the way we live our life. But we're like there for our people. But yeah, it was intense to watch. I am very protective of Janet especially while pregnant, like don't mess with a pregnant woman. And if you like don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But also, I guess that's not good for reality TV, but also just that's how you should live your life, you know?
But you're told and not forced into these situations, but it is, definitely you have to have these conversations.
Right. That's what's happening when you're filming a show. You are having conversations that you might like wait a month to have in real life, but you're filming and you see each other way more frequently because you're like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And all these events are happening. So you're put into positions where you're going to talk about it maybe before you're fully ready for it. And that is what it is. I thought it was intense. I'm sad that Jasmine cried. I didn't know that she was crying when we were there in person. And let's cut to the Jesse, Michelle, and Jackson, Brittany.
I mean, gosh, it's just sad. Like I remember watching
that was my opinion as well. Sad and also empowered for Brittany. I was like, go girl.
Yeah, but it was just like sad and depressed. It was just so sad to watch. You know what I mean? And kudos to them, especially Jesse and Michelle, their vulnerability and both things we didn't want to see. Both things were, we're team marriage. We're team, and try to work it out and to see it not happen 100% for Jesse and Michelle. And the scenes with Isabella and stuff like that. It's just it's hard to see that happen.
Yeah.
And then the stuff with Jackson and Brittany. Did you want to touch on?
Yeah,
something?
Jesse and Michelle.
Yeah.
So conversations that I had on and off camera, with Michelle, while we were in this season of life, season 1, technically, also the season of life from last summer, on and off camera, I was telling Michelle, like, I love you. I have hope for your marriage. Even if you don't have hope, I have hope for you. And I truly was like, it can work. Like if you guys put in the time and the effort. I did not realize the point that they were already at in their marriage when filming. I really wasn't aware. I knew that it was rough, but like so many people have rough times and come back from it. So I didn't know the extent and that it had been that way for so long.
Yeah.
So I just almost feel silly. Like it didn't make it to air, but I remember that night at Jax's bar, I was like, I have hope for you. And then it didn't work out. And I said that off camera as well. It's just like conversations that we had, many a times.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out, and that's okay. Because I think I see them both now very happy with their partners, and it's significant so beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And I think obviously for marriage and hope, like we hope that a marriage will work out, but there are some times in life where I think someone is really important for a season. And, it just, marriage is supposed to be forever, but, you can learn and grow from like hard times in life and become better. And I feel like I see a better version of Jessie now. And I see an incredibly different version of Michelle now. Like she just feels so light and like happy. Yeah. So I do like to see them in happier places.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackson, Brittany.
Yeah, man, alive. Again, it was so heartbreaking and sad to see. Again, we don't see what's happening in the other scenes. We don't see the scenes of moments of Jessie, Michelle, and Jackson, Brittany. The slice of life, what's actually happening at their house, the arguments they're having, how long it's been going on, what's been said to each other, and so to see it again and then to see how it ended up playing out at the end, it was just heartbreaking, Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that Brittany has had the strength to stand up and for herself and kind of take control of that. But yeah, what do you think?
Two thoughts. And it's kind of weird because my thoughts are both conflicting. So one, I did like feel not sad for Jax, like, oh, poor Jax. No, did not feel that way, but more sad to see where he's at in life. Like he is a human being. He has like life experiences. He has a wife. He has a kid. And the overall place that he's at in his life, like to see that for a person is sad. He's obviously making a lot of the choices to get himself in that position, but it's still sad. Like your wife has left you. Now you have to split time with your kid. Like that's sad. So I feel like I felt the sadness on that side for the situation, I would say. And then for Brittany, I really was like, I never want to see one of my girlfriends have to leave their husband.
Right.
But I was like, girl, go girl. Like, call him on the ish. Like he was pretty much lying or doing stuff for cameras, as she said. And like they allowed the fourth wall to be broken on the show. So I'm like, we can fully talk about that. But like, she was like, you booked a doctor's appointment yesterday when we were going to pick the cameras back up. Yeah, therapist. Yeah. And then she was like, I bet that he's not going to go. And then cut to, he didn't go. So it's like, it's just like, I'm just proud of Brittany for being strong and doing what's right for her mental health, her joy, and her son. And, I for the longest time, I had like the littlest of hope, like maybe they'll get back together. And there's still like a micro hope. But at this point, and I'm sure everything will be talked about in season 2, so you guys will have to tune in for season 2. But at this point, I'm just like, oh, no, it's better to be apart.
Yeah, the things that they've been
going through.
Jax
with this all in the public, he taking the girl on the date, and then like her being at his bar. Like, I don't know. Gosh, it's messy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave all that alone because that's just like heavy. Yeah. And I do want there to be light, fun, other subjects covered, and we really don't actually have that long. We gotta we got things to do.
Yeah.
So highs and lows of Big Bear. We'll each give a high and a low.
We're doing Big Bear?
One high, one low, and it's not a long story. It's just highs and lows.
All right, go for it.
Okay. I'm going to say my high was overall being in Big Bear with friends. It was just nice to get away and do something different, especially because the girls were so small. They were like 2 months old.
Yeah.
So it was nice to just like get away, and we had a full-time nanny there so we could like enjoy time with our friends. And the low, I would say the most intense moment for me outside of our dinner moment. I'll let Daniel talk about that.
What do you mean?
Outside of that crazy dinner moment, the low for me, like energy-wise, was Jax like going in on Brittany about her drinking, which was not even a thing. We didn't have a drink on the boat. She was car sick already going down to the boat, and then more car sick coming up. And so it was just so hard for me as her friend to see. And I felt like it didn't come across when it aired, but I felt like in the moment that he was like coming at me, like, are you sure she didn't drink anything? Like, if you say so. And I'm like, I do say so. Like, what are you talking about? She didn't have anything to drink. Why are you coming at her like she has some type of problem? She's sick. And then like, I love that Jana said like, she's sick of you. But that like actually might be it, because more stress induced she's had things in her life that she's dealt with that are physical reactions to stress. That's the only thing that they have been able to identify. And I'm like, Jax is stressing her out and now she can't keep anything down. Like, it's so sad. So that was like energetically, besides our dinner moment, like a low. But I'm just glad to have gotten away and do stuff with like you and the babies outside of, Jamie Fraser. They did not use a funny line that we recorded in interviews. And it was like, I wanted Jamie, but all I see is Jameson.
This is true.
I did not want Jameson, guys. I was hoping for Jamie Fraser.
You had Jamie Fraser.
I mean, I had Jamie Fraser with a lot of...
Shots were fired. Shots were fired, and Jamie Fraser did not.
All right, highs and lows. Let's do this.
Yeah, highs were, definitely just getting out to the mountain and getting some fresh air, and it was tough because we did split a lot of the time. It was all the guys together and then all the girls together. So a lot of it was that. And there was a lot of fun that was had. Being on the boat, doing a little fishing. I love being on the lake and doing that. Definitely the low was having a little bit too many. A little bit too many sodas.
Keep it moving. I want to wrap this up and move on to the next section of the podcast.
Definitely drank way too much on that trip. You get into these things and it's like, you do a little day drinking and then, you realize you're not, 21 anymore. And some of these guys can drink like a fish.
Jesse woke up and had like 12 drinks before breakfast. Right. I'm not exaggerating. Like, actually.
Jax had 2/5 of tequila.
That's not how you roll.
2 Casamigos during the day.
Yeah.
It was like fine. And
you're not.
I'm not. No. I'm a lightweight.
Yes.
But for some reason, I thought I was a heavyweight with these guys.
You don't need to do that.
And that was very embarrassing, to be real. It was very embarrassing. And shameful, and obviously I've apologized to you numerous times, and we've worked this out because that's my biggest priority. I'm not obviously perfect. I make mistakes. We all do. I own it 100%, but as long as I'm good with God and good with you, we move past it and we live and we learn.
Yeah, I do want to say, dang, I had a good thought and it's gone. I had like a really good moment that I was just going to like, boom, 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 boom. Okay. I'll come back to it if I think about it.
I do want to say, though, one thing. I think Jason had said something on a podcast or whatever. He was like, Nia usually gets him out of situations or, whatever, but she couldn't, where was she going to go when he's living at the house? Well, mind you, I put myself to bed. Okay. I left the dinner table and I put myself to bed. Yeah. So there you have it.
That is funny. Yes. You're like, good night. I'm like, yes. Yep. Goodbye.
Yep. Houdini.
Okay. If I have my thought, it'll come up later.
Okay.
Let's take a quick little break. We'll wrap it up with your questions because we have so many questions on Instagram. I want to shout you guys out specifically, and we'll answer the burning questions from the Valley. Quick little break. We'll be right back. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Guess
Welcome
who's back?
Welcome back.
Shady's back? Is that what I'm singing?
It is.
I didn't even know what I was singing. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this. There are so many questions. And so obviously we can't answer all of them, but we will answer as many as we can. And I'm just going to go down the list. I really had a strong desire to organize them to like kind of themes, but we're just going to go down the list. We can go back and forth on questions. You can ask and I can ask.
Okay.
So I'll start at the top. Do you agree the cast should stay as is? Please don't bring Vanderpump cast on. This is from Marcella0112.
I agree that it should be as is. I think, we caught a little bit of lightning in a bottle. And, there was a lot of not hesitancy, but are these bunch of new people going to be able to come in and bring it and it be relatable or what have the draw that it had? And we were putting up numbers that nobody expected. So I think it should stay how it is.
Yeah, I think people like us as we are, the cast that we are. I do think that Sheena and Lala and probably Schwartz will pop on here and there because they are our friends and we do see them out and about. I don't see Lala as much. I think she's definitely in like a pregnancy, protect my space kind of season. But like Sheena, I see her. I feel like we see Schwartz all the time whenever he's like around Jax.
If anybody were to be around the most, I would want Schwartz.
He's great people.
That's my boy.
He's just good energy. We like him.
Yeah.
Okay. You can ask the next question and say who it's by.
Next question from Lucy F. Why has no one called Jax out on his abusive behavior towards Brittany?
I feel like people call Jax out. Maybe not as strongly.
Talking about in the show.
In the show. I feel like Jasmine was one to be like, no, this is not right. Maybe she didn't call him out to his face, but she was telling Brittany like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I often have rose-colored glasses and I see things way more clearly on the other side. So after filming, I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize it was so bad.
Yeah. And in Big Bear, I was gone.
Yes. Okay. Haley K. Stump says, as a mom, how do you feel about Janet weaponizing her pregnancy and using it as an excuse? I don't know if everybody's going to like this answer, but I don't feel like Janet was weaponizing her pregnancy. That's my personal opinion. If I were in her shoes, I would be like, don't come at me. I'm pregnant. I don't want that energy in my life, period. So I would say the same thing. Like, I wonder if this person asking is a mother, because if you've been pregnant and you understand and you've learned how negative energy can affect you and your baby, you might have a different opinion. But I know there'll be people saying like, oh, but she was doing negative energy, blah, 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 all of that. Yes, there's arguments on both sides of it. But at the end of the day, you need to protect yourself as a mother. And like, I had said that to her multiple times on and off camera while filming. I'm like, just take care of your own space, your head space, your emotional space. It's really important while you're pregnant. So that's my 2 cents. Why? Oh, you asked.
Didn't I just ask that?
I asked it and I answered.
You want me to ask you that? Would you go on Dancing with the Stars?
Yes.
You would?
Yes, of course I would. I would love to go on Dancing with the Stars. Maybe everybody's had a dream like this. I don't know.
Goodness.
I really, truly have. When I was done being Miss USA, I was like, oh, they for sure should like have me on Dancing with the Stars. Like, I was just Miss USA. I was first runner-up at Miss Universe. Like, I should be on Dancing with the Stars. So I've had this dream for 10 years. Okay, guys? 10 years.
Here's a hot topic real quick.
Okay.
Because someone actually, Cheryl Burke just came out.
Oh, I know her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was a dancer on Dance with Stars for years.
Yeah.
And she said, in my opinion, nobody that is married or in a serious relationship should go on Dancing with the Stars.
Ooh, because you're like in like a close space with someone and spending so many hours
intimate.
with them.
You're with them every day. You know.
Is she married?
What's your take on
Cheryl
that?
Burke?
I don't know.
I can see that argument.
Yeah.
I can totally see that argument. I think like we've had so many times in our life where we're like, okay, we need to like really like be solid and make sure that we let each other know where, just like
a
really
lot of it is
protect each other.
strengthen your relationship. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I do see that point, especially if maybe you're not solid in your marriage and then you're going on and spending all this like close time with someone. That's not a recipe for success.
Yeah, dancing is it's very intimate.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And you've seen it over and over again on that show.
Yeah.
How many people have dated after,
right, or
got divorced, or you know what I mean.
Give me a dancer that doesn't like women, and we'll just have a grand old time. It's gonna be great.
There you go.
Perfect solution.
Gay dancer.
Yes. Okay. My turn to ask a question.
Sure.
No.
Yes, I would go on Dancing with the Stars as well, and I'm a much better dancer than Nia. 100%.
Yes, he is. He is. I
would
can admit
win.
it. I am not a great
I would
dancer.
actually win Dancing with the Stars if I got on it.
You think so?
100%.
I think your salsa could use a little work.
Listen, don't.
I have a video of Daniel trying to salsa dance at a wedding a few weeks ago.
Don't come at me with my lack of salsa dancing. All right? These hips don't lie.
Okay. Let's see. This is from Tori Tarowski. Also, she said, not a question, but you're my favorite couple. You're beautiful inside and out. And Nia, you're so good at being a mama. So thank you. What was your first reaction seeing yourself back on TV? How did that feel for you?
What was my first reaction seeing myself back on TV? It's different. You know what I mean? Because that was reality television. It wasn't me, playing a role and all the work and preparation and studying of the craft that, goes into all that. Breaking down a character, all that. It's just was totally different. So to see myself on national television as myself, it was different. Mm-hmm. But we had went into it saying, hey, we're gonna be ourselves, and I know I have a big personality, and that definitely showed.
It did, and I feel like there was even times where you were like holding back a little bit because I was like, it's too much. But he has a big personality all the time. It is not just for cameras. This is Daniel all day, every day.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
This question for me.
All right. How are you dealing with your PP now? My PP?
Postpartum.
PP is
I think
still
she
there.
meant PPD.
PP is still there. We're wondering about a fourth child. That's not something to joke about, but I had to. Sorry. Okay. How are you dealing with your postpartum now? What supports have you?
Who is that from?
What supports have you used?
Who is that from?
That is from K Hansen 73.
Okay.
Sorry.
How are you dealing with the pee-pee? Well, it still works. All right. So I am so much better when it comes to the postpartum baby blues, depression, whatever you want to label it, that I was definitely experiencing while filming. And after, like it was probably a solid 4 or 5 months that I was feeling it. And then I feel like I came out of it and I was great for 4 or 5 months. And I'm actually going into a really annoying wave where I get really emotional. I haven't been that way as much for the last 2 weeks. I want to say I have not been that way as much for the last 2 weeks. Daniel would say I'm always emotional, but I have been feeling
I wouldn't say you're always emotional.
Okay. I've been feeling
okay.
The lack of control of my emotions starting, a few months ago. I can't say exactly when, but I was talking to my therapist about it, and she was telling me that there's a hormonal shift that happens when you start to wean.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I still nurse my girls. She's like, yeah, but you're not their only supply of nutrients. They eat full meals and they just nurse kind of just for comfort now. And so she's like, there's a huge hormonal drop at that point, and it can really affect you. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I was trying to tell her, I feel scattered. I don't feel like grounded. I don't feel like myself. I feel just like it's hard to describe. And she was like, that's exactly what you're experiencing. So yeah. I think knowing helps, because I was like, why am I feeling this way? So it was very helpful to kind of know it's another hormonal thing. And then when I completely stopped nursing, that's another hormonal thing. But the help that I'm getting, I am trying to be disciplined in my mornings and my headspace and devotionals or journaling or reading or whatever that is. And I have a therapist that I see once a week, which is wonderful. So she's really been helping me just kind of understand what's going on and work through it.
Yeah. All right, next one.
All right, Caitlin Zellner _. Thoughts and plans for season 2. Baby, what's our drama gonna be? Is essentially the question is, what is our drama right now in our life, and what are we gonna be experiencing on camera?
Oh, I think they're talking about everyone. Thoughts,
okay,
plans
true.
On what season
but
2
also
is
us.
gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty crazy for. a handful of
Season
people
2 is going to be so intense. And I feel like we're going to be in the same position, sitting on the sidelines with our mouths like open, like what is happening?
Yeah.
Season 2 is going to be so intense. Because it's intense now. For example, when you guys hear this, a few days after this comes out, we're going to be having our daughter's first birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And we've invited everybody on the cast to the birthday party. And I literally text one of the producers and I was like, just making sure you don't want cameras at the birthday, right?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I was like, I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm gonna have to text everybody individually and be like, hey, just so you know, everybody is invited, and please don't have any drama at our daughter's first birthday, which is like what we literally have to do when the cameras are up if you want something without drama, but inevitably there's drama. I just truly hope like people can stay on opposite sides of the space because I don't want drama at their birthday. But yeah, season 2 is going to be intense because when you're filming, you are put in positions where you're like, well, I've been trying to avoid you, but now I can't because Nia and Brittany are hosting X, Y, and Z. We want everybody together, so you have to be in the same room. And, you know, for the most part, people have been trying to avoid each other, but there's been the wars on social media. Like it's going to all come to a head once cameras pick up.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things already that are like, why aren't cameras around?
Cameras should be up now, 100%. But I think we're trying to hold back until the cameras pick up.
They're going to have to address a lot of things. And I think there's going to be obviously, you know, significant others, you know, that are coming into play and you know, it's going to be wild.
It's going to be wild. What is our drama? Let's try to make this. I want to do like 3 more.
I know. I don't
questions.
want, you know, a big thing right now is we're still, you know, looking for our place. We are much further along than we have ever been with, getting our you know, our numbers and getting pre-approved and having our price point of what we're going to be looking at. So I think it's going to be, you know, figuring that out. We still have 3 kids.
I want to stay in our valley. Mm-hmm. We're going to see. That'll be, honestly, we could move while filming. That's like how close we are.
I know.
We could be moving this summer.
Yeah.
If we find a place that we both love.
Itself. We now have not 3 under 2, we have 3 under 3.
And our girls will be 1 by the time we start filming. So from 5 weeks to 1 year old, that's such a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm already thinking about it. Like when they're like, oh, we're going to come over and film stuff at your house. I'm like, our house is a disaster 24/7 now. It was easier with 1 kid or 1 kid and babies to keep it picked up because babies don't do anything. But when you have 3 children pulling toys out of every corner of the house and throwing them, like it's going to look like an explosion of life ridiculous. All day, every day. And I'm not going to have the time or energy to pick up before the cameras come over. So y'all are just going to see like what we're living in on the daily. And it's going to be a little embarrassing, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And, you know, you could be pregnant.
Well, okay. Quickly, let's touch on that. So I would actually maybe like to be pregnant.
Oh, what?
But
oh my gosh.
But Daniel said no.
I didn't say no.
2 months in a row. Yes, you did.
I said, heck no, not right now. Are you kidding?
I said, I'm ovulating. And he said, no, absolutely not. So.
Don't be trying to leg lock me, homie.
If you change your mind.
You're trying to leg lock.
Oh my gosh. If you change your mind, then maybe we will be pregnant when we're filming. That would be exciting.
What? For who?
For me. People think we're crazy.
Lord have mercy.
But I always thought we would have 2 children. We always said, we'll have 2 and then we'll decide if we want to go to 4 or just stay at 2. We've always said that. We've never said we wanted 3.
Correct. But that's not what God had planned for us.
Maybe God has one more planned.
Maybe he has 4 more planned. Who knows?
I would die. Oh, no. Okay, we have to wrap it up with like 2 more questions. Tessa Kane says, sending you love, Nia. You inspire me. Buffy was Slayer said, why don't you support Kristen more? She said, from what we saw, no one stood up for Kristen and that wasn't okay. So I did stand up for Kristen, but not like Kristen's the best. I was just like, y'all, like I have a great experience with Kristen. Yeah. If you have a different experience, obviously it's clear people had bad experiences with her. That was not my experience. So whether it was on or off camera or anything, I was just like, let me have my own opinion. That was my main thing. Like I love Kristen. I've always had a great experience with her.
Yeah.
And I've also had a great experience with like the other women on the cast. So like there was a moment where I even said it. I was like, don't make me pick sides. Like, don't
Right.
make me choose sides
Right.
because I'm not going to base my choice of who I'm going to be friends with or not off of someone else's experience. For the most part, obviously there's circumstances where you can like adjust that. But
Right.
I had a great time with Kristen, have had as friends before, while filming, as friends after. I am grateful for her as a friend. And same with Janet, and same with Michelle, and same with Brittany, and same with Jasmine. Like, I really do value each of the girls. So
Yeah.
this season 2 will be interesting because I feel like there's going to be, I imagine there would be like an energy of like, you have to choose sides. And
Right.
I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know how I'm going to handle that.
I was told towards the end of filming, and even in the kind of the finale of that time, of, hey, if you're hanging with them and you're talking with them, then that's showing me that you're not on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep. One more. How should we end it? Yang says, saying hi to Brittany. She's stronger than ever. Okay. This is a fun, kind of lighter one to end on. Jessica Casarano says, are you recognized more since the show aired?
Holy cow. I mean, we had no idea what this.
No idea.
No idea about reality television.
Right.
Or how many people watch this and how popular it is, and then how popular our show
is.
We
We both got recognized. So, like, I feel like some of the cast, Jesse and Michelle, or Jason and Janet, like, maybe wouldn't get recognized while walking down the street or going to a theme park or whatever. We both got recognized before. Daniel would get recognized for his work on camera as an actor,
Right.
on TV shows and movies. Like, people would
Yeah.
come up to me like, oh, I've seen you in this, I've seen you in that. He would get recognized
Yeah.
before, and I would get recognized as a former Miss USA before. So we've had that experience, but it has gone like tenfold on how much we get recognized now.
It's insane.
Everywhere we go. For example, if we would go to Disneyland, we might get recognized maybe once, maybe twice, maybe not at all before the show.
Right.
I sat down next to the carousel waiting for Daniel to just go through a 10-minute line. And I'm not exaggerating, at least 7 or 8 people walk up to me in like 10 minutes to say hi. And
It
like,
was
I know you, I love
Every
you.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Walking.
Walking.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
We love Bookos. We love you guys.
Yeah.
We love the Valley.
Yeah, and even people that like didn't say something, like, for example, I was walking with Asher through like Minnie Mouse's house, and I saw a woman wearing a shirt that I had ordered off Etsy but didn't make it in time. And I was like, oh, I love your shirt. I have the same one, but it didn't make it. And she goes, oh my gosh, you're talking to me. She's like, I saw you in line and I texted my friend that you were here, but I didn't want to say anything. So it's like, on top of the people that
It's been
say
wild.
hi, there's other people too. So it's been fun though. I feel like we enjoy it.
Yeah.
People are not mean to us, whereas
Yeah.
I know like other people kind of have different experiences.
Right.
But people are just so sweet and so kind.
Yeah.
And, Jax is quote unquote like the villain from Vanderpump or whatever, and
Right.
definitely our show as well at times. But I remember going to Disney with them, and
Yeah.
no one knew who we were, but they would get recognized. People would still say like, I
Yeah.
love you guys to both of them all the time. So
Right.
yeah, it's fun. People are
Yeah.
nice in
And
person.
especially, when we would go watch the episodes, the viewing parties at Jax's, it was
Yeah.
just,
So
it
much
was
fun.
a lot of fun because everybody was there hoping to see, people from the cast
Yeah.
and do that.
Yeah.
Although, funny story, I was at CVS yesterday, and I needed someone I was getting like Tylenol or something, and I needed someone to open the thing. And she comes up, she's like, are you on a show? Are you on a TV show? And I was like, thinking, obviously, The Valley.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm on a reality show called The Valley. And she was like, no, I don't watch that. Were you like on like any like Disney shows or?
Aw.
And I was like, oh, I was on iCarly and Hannah Montana. She's like, oh my gosh, that's what I. And then literally 5 minutes later, on the other side, I'm getting something else, and I talking to another coworker, and she recognizes me, and I'm thinking it's from The Valley.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was from iCarly as well.
Oh, how
I was
fun.
like, that was like the first
So
time
random.
that, yeah.
So that's happened in a long time. Same
Right,
with me at
right.
church. Some girl came up to me and she was really slow to say what she was going to say. She was like,
Mhm.
hi, are you Nia? And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
expecting like, I know you from The Valley. And then she was just really slow to like finally get there. She goes, I love pageants. And I was like, oh, awesome. And she's like, I started doing pageants when I first saw you compete. And it was like a whole thing. So we kind of, get recognized both ways, but it's so much fun to get recognized from the Valley because people feel like they know us and like get an insight into our life. So we love that. And we love doing this podcast because we get to share a little insight into our lives and our perspective on things with you guys. And this will be, probably be our final Valley episode. Maybe we'll do another one for fun, just chatting about other things, but we have fun episodes coming up. We're going to be talking a little bit about the girl's birth story and just like having twins, and we made it to a year. That'll be coming up as well as experts, friends. Our friends from the Valley are still going to come on, so you guys can definitely stay tuned in to listen to them, whether it's Kristen or oh gosh, I just almost said Kristen or Janet, which we could have both of them on, but at separate times. So yeah, we'll just be, hanging with you guys every single week on Wednesdays, getting back into our groove. So thank you so much for listening today. Yeah. We love you. We are praying for you. I don't know why that came out, but it's what I'm feeling right now. So we're going to say a prayer over everybody.
Let's go.
And we don't have to say it out loud, but we are praying for all of you that are listening. I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful day, and a great weekend. And we'll see you next week on the Hold My Crown podcast.
Yay Networks.